Caleb Quinn, also known as the Deathslinger. Born in the harsh Wild West of America, Caleb made devices with his father, who was an engineer, since his tools haven't been touched for years since there were still businesses that wanted no business with Irish immigrants. When Caleb came of age, Henry Bayshore, owner of United West Rail, hired him when he saw his engineering abilities becoming marketable. Caleb invented a gun that would shoot railroad spikes into the ground and even a steam-powered tunneling drill. However, Caleb noticed his inventions were being patented and sold under Bayshore and not given Caleb any credit for the designs. A rage starts building up inside him, the same feeling he got whenever he got bullied in the past. He bursts into his boss's office and starts to smash his face onto his desk, almost killing him until he gets pulled away, with Caleb using his spike gun to skewer the spikes into his boss, nailing him to his desk. The only thing that saved Caleb from being hanged was his boss that somehow managed to survive the attack. Instead, Caleb spent time in Hellshire Penitentiary. During his time, he made his unlikely friend with the warden by helping him design torture devices for other inmates in exchange for extra meals. After a while, the warden offered to commute Caleb's sentence if he did something for him, fill the prison with criminals, and in return, he can help Caleb use connections to frame Bayshore and put them behind bars for life. Caleb made modifications to his spike gun, adding a spear that can launch at anyone and drag them to him. He called it a spear gun. After testing his gun by spearing a thief of a Chinese laundry, skewing them through their abdomen and dragging them on the ground towards Caleb, people around the town gave him a nickname, the Deathslinger. Looking to protect his assets, the prison warden pulled strings to release different Irish immigrants and have them join Caleb as his posse. They call themselves the Hellshire Gang. They went around the country collecting outlaws and criminals for the prison for 6 years, even getting into a bloody battle at Glenvale. But it was here when Caleb saw a newspaper article about Bayshore purchasing the prison with a picture of the warden shaking hands to the disfigured Henry Bayshore. Fueled with rage and with loyalty from his gang, they stormed through the prison to collect the warden's head. And as luck would have it, Caleb would found him and Henry cowering in the corner. Caleb rushed at Bayshore, beating and bludgeoning him with his gun, tearing at his flesh. His gang swarmed around the warden, stabbing his bones into pieces with their boots. Begging for death, the two were dragged from the gang to the commons, being left to the other prisoners that wanted a piece of them. Caleb, soaked in blood and sweat, went to his old cell, sitting on his old bed, until he saw an unnatural fog seeping through the bars of his cell. Through the fog, he saw a dusty path with silhouettes of all who have wronged him, the bullies, the executives that took advantage of him, and even Henry Bayshore himself. This was a way for the entity to have Caleb enter its realm, as he saw hooks all over the place for him to hang his victims. Caleb smiled as he started walking down the dusty trail. Now we get to be Caleb and use his special invention. His ability is called the Redeemer, where we can use his spear gun to shoot at survivors that are within 18 meters of him. If the spear successfully hits a survivor, he can reel them towards him and instantly suffer from deep wound effects. Survivors have a chance to break free from the chains, stunning Caleb and only be injured. Whether you hit someone or miss, you still gotta reload before you shoot. I mean, it's a gun after all. Caleb's perks allows him to block the first generator for 40 to 50 seconds whenever a survivor stops repairing it once a survivor is hooked, seeing an aura of survivors for 6 to 8 seconds after getting a good skill check once a survivor loses a health state, and after a survivor cleans or blesses a totem, they suffer from oblivious status effects for 35 to 45 seconds and see auras of all survivors for 15 seconds. Overall, I would give Deathslinger B tier. Same reason personally with Oni, if I practiced more with him, I could be a menace with Deathslinger, but even then, I wouldn't consider him to be one of my favorites. Still, he is fun to play as. I wonder if there are any other ghost cowboys in the Wild West.